Okay, so in this question, we are going to do FCFE based valuation, but in a slightly different way. So, Prudence Bank is a publicly traded financial services firm that reported $200 million in net income for the most recent year. So, this is net income at time zero. The firm reported a return on equity of 16%, ROE in the same period, and the beta for the firm is 1. Risk-free rate is 5, market risk premium is 4. If Prudence Bank expects to maintain this year's ROE and also expects to grow 12% a year for the next 3 years, estimate how much the bank can pay as dividends each year for the next 3 years. Now, the question is how much the bank can pay as dividends, which is basically the same as asking how much is the free cash flows to equity holders, right? So that is um, the amount of cash that you can pay as dividends, the FCFE, right? So we are required to calculate the FCFE for the next 3 years individually. That we will proceed with like this. So we are given net income of 200 million, ROE of this, beta this. So cost of equity is simply 9%, growth is 12. So in order to grow at 12% with an ROE of 16%, you would need to invest 75% of your net income, right? So you can then pay out 25%, right? So while net income of $200 million is at time zero, while you're required to calculate FCFE for year one, two, and three, therefore, this, right, so, sorry. So we are required to calculate the free cash flows to equity for the next 3 years. That we can do simply by doing this. So net income 200 million multiplied by 1 plus the growth rate, which is 12%, raised to the power the year number, which is 1 in this case. We are trying to calculate the FCFE for year 1, multiplied by 1 minus the 75% reinvestment rate. So a lot of calculations into just this one cell, but again, I hope it is understandable. So you're calculating next year's net income expected, and you're simply deducting the 75% reinvestment from it, which leaves you with a free cash flow to equity of 56. For year two, simply only one change, which is the raised to the power 2 gives you the net income uh, with a growth factor of 2 years. So similarly for third year, and you've got an answer for part A. If you expect the earnings growth rate to drop to 4% after year three, and the return equity and on equity to 12%. So two changes are taking place after year three. Growth rate now becomes 4%, ROE now becomes 12%, which means that automatically the reinvestment rate or the plowback ratio is now 33%, which is 4 over 12. So with this reinvestment rate, the expected net income for the fourth year is going to be different, right? So what we're going to do now is that we had 200 into 1 plus 12% raised to the power 3 was the expected net income for year 3. We're going to grow it now by 4%, which is happening here, right here, for 1 year. This gives you the net income for the fourth year, and then you subtract the reinvestment part, which is this 1 minus C19. So 33% is now a reinvestment, or the plowback ratio was taken out, which gives you a free cash flow to equity of $194.82 million. We are required to find the terminal value at year three, which is simply the 9% cost of equity minus the new growth rate of 4%. And on the numerator side, you've got the FCFE that you just calculated. Right? I hope that was simple enough. Thank you.